Hey everybody, it's Diane Gale here from the blog and YouTube channel Sustainable Slow Living. And today we are going to make the classic twice baked potato recipe that I promised you. I'm sorry that I missed a couple posts. Things have been a little bit wild here and I just totally fell behind. But this is a recipe that I've been dying to bring you. It's a classic comfort food. Perfect with a steak or served as a main dish with side salad, and super easy to make. So before we get started with the recipe, I want to talk to you about choosing your potatoes, because choosing potatoes for this recipe is really important. Most potatoes, white potatoes, yellow potatoes, red potatoes, they're not fluffy enough. And if you make this recipe with them, and you can if that's what you have in the house, but your stuffing, your filling for your potato is going to be a little bit gummy, and it's not going to have as nice a texture as you would have if you chose russet potatoes. The recipe that I'm putting up on the blog is for 4 large russet potatoes, but today we're just going to make half a recipe because there's no way that I need to make 4 large russet potatoes in my house. That's just way too much. So today we'll make half a recipe. If you are like I am and you have a lot of trouble trying to double or even to cut down a recipe, I tend to lose track in the middle of my ingredients, and before I know it, I have some ingredients for half the recipe and some ingredients for a full. So my trick for that when I am doing that is I write down the recipe as it is, and then I cross out each of the measurements and cut them in half or double them, whatever it is I'm doing. So you can do that. Another thing that you can do if you just want to make the 4 potatoes and you don't want to be bothered with converting the recipe is you can head over to the blog. There is a link down below, and there is a printable version of the recipe there for you. And like I said, that is for 4 potatoes, even though we're only making 2 today. And once you have your potatoes picked out and you brought them home, it's pretty simple to make this recipe. You're going to take your potatoes and you're going to wash them with a vegetable brush so they're nice and clean. The vegetable brush is not absolutely necessary, but if you don't have one, they're wonderful, so you should grab one. And then you want to prepare the skins for these because you want them to have crispy skins. So once they're washed, you're actually going to want to dry the skin, because you're going to oil it, and you want the oil to stick right to the skin. You don't want it to mix with any water that's left on the potato. So scrub them, dry them, take a knife and poke some holes down the top of them, just 3 holes, and then you're going to take some oil and you're going to oil them just in your hands, and then you're going to very generously salt them. If you're not allowed to have salt, or if you just really don't like a lot of salt, I mean, the salt isn't absolutely necessary, but it really makes a difference in the skin. So even if you're a person that doesn't eat a lot of salt, but every once in a while you allow yourself to have some, which is what I do. When I do these, I generously salt the skin because it's an important part of the recipe. And then once you've got them all cleaned and stabbed and oiled and salted, it's time to put them in the oven. You're going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees, and baked potatoes take somewhere between 40 hours. That would be a very well baked potato. Baked potatoes take somewhere between 40 minutes and an hour. It really depends on the exact size of your potatoes. So you're just going to want to bake them until you can take and stab the center with a knife, and the knife goes in and out nice and easy. And then you know that your potatoes are baked. Then you're going to take them out of the oven and you're going to allow them to cool. I like to let them cool completely. As a matter of fact, I made these yesterday so that they would be completely cooled today and I could just work with them today. All they really need is to be cooled to the point where you can hold on to them and work with them. The warmer they are, though, the more likely you are to scoop out too much of your center when you're making your filling. And I almost forgot to tell you, it's very important not to wrap these in tin foil when you put them in the oven. I know a lot of times when we make baked potatoes, we wrap them in tin foil and we put them in the oven. They bake quicker that way. Don't wrap these in tin foil. Again, you want that oil and that salt to make a crispy skin on the outside. And if you wrap them in tin foil, it's going to keep too much moisture inside the wrap to allow that to happen to the skin. So you can take them and you can put them right on your oven rack. That's not necessarily desirable if you have a really nice oven. You can just put them on a piece of tin foil and put them in the oven to bake. So here's the potatoes that I baked, just 2 of them. I don't know if you can really see on camera how well they're salted, but I did take a picture of them. Hopefully it came out well enough to put on the blog. I'm going to take these 2 potatoes and I'm going to cut them down the center lengthwise so that we have 2 half baked potatoes. Just like that. Can you see? Just like that. We'll get both of them cut here. God, they smell wonderful. Something that you may not know about me is how much I love potatoes. They are one of the things that I like a lot. And they're so versatile and they're full of nutrients. Okay, so then we're going to take our halves, and a lot of your salt's going to come off while you're doing this. Don't worry about that. Your salt has already flavored your potato. So you're going to take your halves and you're going to scoop out the center of this. And I'm going to be extra careful and take my time here. You don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I want them to come out for pictures for the blog. Usually I just dig right in and scoop away, but not today. Okay, so we have got these all scooped out. I have scooped out as much as I possibly can. You just want a little, maybe a 1/4 inch layer of potato left on the skin, just to give it, some body, something to make it kind of a boat to hold the filling. But you don't want any more than that because you want the potato for your filling. And I want you to know that. So, okay, twice baked potato is baking the potato once and then scooping out the filling, mixing it with other ingredients, filling the potato back up and baking it twice. Classic twice baked potato. I had, a pretty good idea of what that was, but I didn't really know everything that they put in it because when I make these, I put in whatever it is that I'm feeling at the moment. So the ingredients that we're going to use today are very much the ingredients that are used in classic twice baked potatoes. But you can put anything in these. You can put, I have done broccoli, like sauteed broccoli and onions and put them in here with cheese and sour cream. Whatever I have in my refrigerator, I've done it with bell peppers. I've done it with poblano peppers. And of course other ingredients, but you just get an idea of the different things. I've done it with Italian sweet sausage. Usually that's when I do the peppers and onions. I have done them for breakfast. I have done sausage and eggs and cheese and mixed it with the potatoes and put it back in there. So you can, the sky is the limit, but today we're going to go classic. So I am going to leave these right on the tin foil that I baked them on last time because they're going to be going back in the oven. I have the potato in here that I've scooped out. I'm going to take a potato masher and I'm going to mash it. That is the easiest way to do this, but you can do it with a fork if you don't have a handheld potato masher. And then I am going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in here. Now, normally I would just put everything in here and I would mix it all together, but my butter isn't quite as soft as I want it to be because I was a little ill-prepared. So I am going to try and mash some of that butter up. So I've got that butter pretty well mashed up in there. We're going to put the rest of the ingredients in and get this all mixed up pretty well. So we have a 1/4 cup of sour cream. We have a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. One egg yolk. And in here I have 1/2 teaspoon of granulated garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm using real salt. I think I told you in the last video I finally got my hands on real salt. It was something that I would have had to order online and I just didn't ever. But the Amish store by me is carrying it now. I have a 1/4 cup of finely grated Parmesan cheese. You can do Parmesan, Romano, Asiago, you can do the blend. I just went to the tiny little town store, so they just had Parmesan. And then I have 1/2 cup of a shredded sharp yellow cheddar. I like the yellow, I should say orange, I guess. I guess it's orange cheddar. Don't they call it yellow though? I don't know. I think so. Anyway, I like this because of the color. And we're going to put some on top of the potatoes as well. So, you know, I like the color of it a lot. So we're going to put that in there. And then I am going to stir this all up. Whoops. I'm going to mix really well, and I'm going to stuff these potato skins. Just like that. It's perfect. All right, you guys, and then we're just going to take a little bit more cheddar cheese. I think I'm going to call for maybe a 1/4 cup in the recipe to do this. And we're just going to put a little bit of cheddar cheese on the top of these. And the rest of the topping we'll put on when they come out of the oven. So these are going to go back in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. You just want to heat them all the way through. Everything in here, apart from the egg yolk, actually does not need to be recooked as far as you being able to eat it raw. So 15 or 20 minutes so that they're heated all the way through to the middle, and then we're going to bring them out and we're going to finish topping them. While they're in the oven, I'm going to fry up 4 slices of bacon, because that's one of the things that we're going to use for a topping. And bacon, you can always win with bacon. Okay, you guys, here we go. Fresh out of the oven. They smell amazing. I always wish you could smell things. We're going to take a little bit of smoked paprika. Obviously, it adds flavor, and I love smoked paprika. But mostly it's about the color. We want to get a little color on top. I've got 4 slices of cooked bacon here that I've chopped up. I hope fine enough. I'm questioning that now. I'll break it up a little bit more. You can put the bacon on before you put them in the oven, and it'll kind of bake down into the cheese. I just like to cook the bacon while they're in the oven. And I'm okay with it sitting on top. And then some scallions. twice baked potatoes for the win, you guys. These are so tasty. And we're gonna have a taste in just a minute. But first I want to tell you that these freeze well. So if you're inclined, what I could have done is I could have made the whole recipe and then froze the extras. And the only reason that I'm not doing that is because our move is up in the air and I'm trying not to fill up a freezer full of food. But a lot of times that's what I do. They freeze and reheat really, really well. So let's get a bite, okay? All right, here we are. So good. So much of it is about that salted skin. You have the salted skin on the bottom and the salted bacon on top. And apart from making this dish farm fresh, it's not really a dish that you can make all that healthy. I mean, it has cheese, it has sour cream, it has butter, it has bacon. I think that kind of says it all. But you can make it all farm fresh, the heavy cream, the cheese, the bacon, the sour cream, the butter, and then you're doing a little better. It is comfort food. It is not something that is meant to be eaten all of the time. It does, like I said, it goes well with steak. It goes well with any meat, and it also goes really, really well as the main component of your meal. Just do a little veggie on the side or a little side salad, and you're ready to go. They reheat well so you can take them for lunch. I hope that you make yourself some. I hope that you love them. I hope you experiment with doing them all of the different ways that we've talked about. I am so glad that you are here with me today, and you and I are going to get together again really soon.